Okay, so as I was saying, let's come down onto our backs to begin, and we'll just take a few minutes here to rest and settle. Sometimes with these classes in the middle of the morning, it might just take a few moments to transition to the space, the mental and the physical space for practice. So if there are any thoughts here about what's happened this morning or what's due to happen this afternoon, just acknowledge those, just allow them to be, but rather than getting drawn into their content, invite them to pass through. So just like clouds drifting across the sky. And gradually you might find that sky starts to clear. And as it does so, we can shift awareness, focus of awareness from the mind, from thoughts, dropping it down into the body. Again, when we're moving through life on a day-to-day basis with all the busyness that entails, we can become a little disconnected from the body. We can forget to pay attention to it or even notice that it's there. So yoga practice is an opportunity to re-establish that connection. To become more attuned to the body and more curious as to how the body feels, how the body moves. Using the lens of our movement practice, our postures, to really cultivate that sense of presence, of being here, of being fully awake here right now. So rather than just observing the breath moving in and out of the body, let's really tune into the breath, really become interested in how that breath moves, how that breath feels. The belly moving, the rib cage moving. Perhaps there's some movement in the upper chest as well. And so we'll just take another half a minute or so here before we begin to move the body. And let's stay interested and curious as we move through this practice together this morning. We'll begin that movement practice by bringing the knees towards the chest, taking that gentle squeeze of the thighs towards the belly, and maybe a little rock from side to side. And as you settle your rocking movement, we'll bring the hands onto the knees and then draw the knees wide towards the armpits, circle the knees away, back through center and in towards the body. So slow circles, but generous circles. Staying close to the breath again and staying close to the sensations of these movements. Let's bring the knees back in and then we'll reverse direction. So with the knees together, We draw the knees away from the body, we draw the knees wide, and back to center again. And then the next time the knees draw back through your center line, pause there. We'll keep the hands on the knees for now, and then just allow the knees to drop away from the body a little bit. And then we'll use the hands to draw the knees back in. We'll do that a few more times. So knees naturally drop away, and then the arms, draw those knees back towards the chest. And we'll continue these movements, but let's shift the position of the hands, bringing them onto the fronts of the thighs. So a little press of the hands to the thighs, and we'll continue to draw the knees in and away from the body. You might find that the core naturally responds, that there's a little tone in the belly, helping to maintain an active bit of pressure of the lower back against the floor. Let's take a couple more movements. And then next time you draw the knees in, pause there and stretch the right leg long. And we'll switch. Right knee bends, left leg lengthens, and we can just move from one leg to the other. All the while, keep a little bit of pressure, hands to thighs. Doesn't have to be too strong. But just keeping some engagement in the belly, some engagement in those hip flexors. One more time, we'll lengthen the left leg. And then knees bend. Let's bring the feet down onto the floor. And let's take a few moments there, a couple of breaths there. Staying on our backs, let's make fists with the hands. We'll bring those fists together. Again, little press of the back down as we pick up the feet. We'll place the hands inside the knees, squeeze the knees against the outer hands, and then bring the shin bones more or less parallel with the floor. We'll tap those big toes together, so feet, legs travel into center, and then we'll draw the feet apart towards the sides of the mat. And again, back through your midline, keep a little squeeze knees to hands, draw the feet apart. And as we take a few more rounds of these movements, each time drawing the feet as wide as feels comfortable. You might find if you're a little over-ambitious too early in the practice that the thighs or the hips rather start to get a bit crampy. I often find that with this movement if I don't take it nice and steadily. Let's take 2 more rounds. And then last round, we'll hold the feet in the wide position. Keep a little squeeze of the knees to the hands. Hold for another 2, 3 rounds of breath. And then back to center again. Let's release the feet to the floor, release the hands to the floor as well. So we'll take a little counter stretch for that last movement, crossing the right shin over the left thigh. Top of the foot draws back to the shin. We'll roll the right knee forwards away from the face, roll the right knee in towards your midline. Do that again. And then one more time, we'll draw the right knee forwards, get that little press again, lower back down as we pick up the left foot. Hands can either stay flat or catch around the left leg. Sometimes helpful to use the right elbow, just a little bit of leverage against the inner right thigh, so the knee continues to draw away from the face as the left thigh squeezes in. So you might feel some strong sensations around the right hip. Maybe there are other sensations as well. Let's begin to apply some active pressure of the right shin against the left thigh. So as we continue to draw the left thigh in, there's a bit of resistance through the right leg. And we can build that resistance, maybe just a little stronger. Always staying with in a place that feels safe, that feels that it's working for the body. And keeping the cross of the shin, let's release the left foot to the floor. And then from there, we're going to take an active version of that last movement. So without using the hands and keeping the left foot down, we'll draw the right shin away from the left thigh. As best we can, we want that shin more or less parallel to the top edge of the mat. So right knee rolling away, right ankle rolling in. Okay, and then release the thigh, release the shin onto the thigh again. Let's point the toes, and then we'll start to take some circles with the ankle, drawing a circle in space with the big toe. And let's change directions. One last time, back through center, and then we'll set that right foot down onto the floor. Let's switch to second side. So left shin crosses the right thigh. We'll roll the left knee forwards, we'll roll the left knee in, and we'll do that again. And this time, as you draw that left knee forwards, we hold, we pick up the right foot. Again, optionally use the hands to just assist the stretch. Maybe the left elbow as well. And as you begin to create that pressure of the left shin against the right thigh, just noticing if it feels a little easier this side or perhaps a little more restrictive, a little more restricted. Okay, let's bring the right foot down onto the floor. Once that foot is grounded, draw the left shin away from that right leg. Again, we'll roll the knee forwards, we'll roll the ankle, the heel in. And then releasing shin onto thigh, point the left toes, start to take those circles with the ankle. We'll take 3 or 4 rounds in each direction. Switching up. Okay, back to center, release the left foot down, and again, we'll pause there just for a moment. We're going to make a transition from our backs around to all fours. So take that transition in your own time. And as you come up to your all fours position, tuck the toes. We're going to come towards our toe stretch here. So begin with the hands on the floor, and then just start to walk the hands back towards the knees. Optionally, you can sit onto the heels, coming to an upright position. As always, if that feels too strong, just take a little bit of weight out of the feet into the palms. You might release the pinky fingers, a little press through the underside of the toes, and a little squeeze of the heels into your midline as well. And just hold here, just breathe, be with what's here in this moment. If it gets too strong, too intense, the option is always there to lean forwards, place the hands onto the mat. Okay, let's take the hands down again. A little counter stretch here. So untuck the toes and just scrunch the tops of the toes into the mat for a moment. And then as you retuck the toes, we'll keep the hands down. Let's pull back on those hands and lift the chest for our variation of cat-cow. And as we press through the palms, rock back onto the feet, drop the chin towards the body, round the spine, and then take another round. Heels release down, pull back on the palms, chest lifts, and we rock back. We'll take 3 more rounds. So a little movement, a little mobility again for the toes and the ankles, for the hips. And then last round, when we rock back, transition to your standing fold. So walk the hands in a little bit, bring the heels down, and bring some length into the knees. You might just soften the knees for a moment and then spread the toes, press the floor away as you lift the hips up. Take a few more rounds and then just gradually ease your way into your standing fold position. With the fingertips down, we'll lift up the heels. We'll come to a squat with the knees inside the arms. So come into a low squat position. Either keep the fingertips down, even if it's very lightly, for some support, or place the hands onto the thighs. Take a little balance there. And then from your squat balance, we'll place the hands down again. Let's walk forwards to plank. We'll just touch into that plank position. And from here, bring the knees down, roll the base of the spine towards the knees, bend the elbows, bring the thighs down, the pelvis and the belly, keep the chest lifted and squeeze those shoulder blades back. Let's untuck the toes. And as we press down through the feet, we'll pull back on the palms, a little lift, and then float the hands. As we hold here, feel that the front of the pelvis drawing up towards the belly button, the base of the spine lengthening back towards the heels. And as we return the hands to the floor, make the whole body strong. We'll push up through all fours from there into down dog. Tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. So first down dog, as always, you might take some little movements there just to feel your way in. And then from down dog, let's take another round. So we'll walk the hands back to the feet again, return to standing fold. Fingertips down, heels lift, we'll bend the knees, find your squat. Again, maybe the hands come up onto the thighs. You might even drop the knees forwards and down a little bit, lean back into the pose, challenge that balance. If we wobble out, that's fine. And then from here, we'll place the hands down again, walk those hands forward, set your plank. So last time we took knees down, we rolled into low cobra. You can either do that again, or keeping that strength from all the way through the body, we'll lower in this plank position all the way down onto the mat as slowly as we can. Once we're down, come into that cobra position. Press the feet down, roll the front rim of the pelvis up, pull back on the palms and lift. Maybe a little more height. We're going to float the hands, squeeze back with the shoulders. And this time, either up through all fours, or we tuck the toes, strong, strong. We pop up through plank and back into downward dog again. So one more round. Let's move a little more fluidly through this round. So walk the hands back to the feet, take standing fold. From standing fold, find your squat. We'll just touch into the squat this time. From the squat, walk forwards to plank position. So we've had two options, moving from plank into low cobra. Either retake one of those options or chaturanga, bend the elbows like the first part of a push-up. Keep the thighs strong, the knees lifted as we untuck the toes, and then pull back on the palms. Keep the legs strong, draw the shoulders down and back. From up dog into downward dog, lift from the belly button. And then from the downward dog, we'll bring the feet forwards to the hands, standing fold position. And from standing fold, let's find our way up to mountain pose. So soften the knees, head heavy, roll your way up. Set your mountain pose. Take a moment there. Toes spreading again. So as we keep the connection through the big toe knuckles and the little toe knuckles, let's shift the weight forwards, lift the heels up. Top position, we start to lower with control all the way down. Heels might just brush the floor, maybe they come all the way down. And then we lift again, this time with the arms. Lift up and release down. So stay with this movement, take some more rounds. Notice how the breath wants to move with the rhythm of the lift of the arms, the lift of the heels. Let's take a couple more rounds. One more time, we'll hold the top position. So come up, pause there. Again, there might be some little wobbles. Keep that lift of the fingertips, that lift of the heels. Let's lower halfway down. So lower the heels, halfway down. We'll pause there. Arms reaching wide. And then complete that journey down. Heels touch the floor. Arms release. Take a breath. Keep that spread of the toes. Big toe knuckles, little toe knuckles grounded. We'll lift all 10 toes up and then tap the big toes down, just the big toes. And then lift the big toes, tap the foretoes, switch from there, lift, big toes, tap down, lift, foretoes, tap down. We'll do that twice more. Okay, foretoes, tap down, lift again, and release all 10 toes onto the floor. Heels stay grounded. This time we'll sweep those arms up, soft knees. Let's pull back on the feet, hinge at the hips, come down into your fold. And then from the fold, we'll move through sun salutation. So knees bend, plant the hands, move to plank. So step back or a little hop back to your plank. And then from plank through the vinyasa again. So you might simply roll up into down dog, or you can take those transitions into cobra or up dog that we've explored already. Take a few breaths there. And then from your downward facing dog, let's raise the right leg, reach back through that right heel. We'll bring the knee into the chest, pause there. So really squeeze that knee into the body, press the floor away with the palms. And then we'll set the right foot between the hands. As the left knee comes down, short stance, so knee more or less underneath the left hip. Left hand stays down, right hand to right hip, keeping the right heel in contact with the floor. We'll shift the weight forwards, knee over toes, or even forwards of toes, shift the weight back. Take some more rounds. You might feel some stretch across the front of that left hip, but really our focus for this movement is on the right ankle joint. Let's take one more time, shift forwards, pause there. Optionally, you bring the right hand down as well. We'll hold just for a little while longer. As we do so, make sure that we keep that heel grounded and keep some pressure down through the toes and the undersides of the toe knuckles here. And now feel as though you're drawing the top of the foot back towards the shin, trying to close that gap. Keep that engagement as we rock back. So the toes will lift, and we can pause here. Again, the focus is the ankle. If you want to introduce a stretch into the hamstring as well, keep shifting the weight back towards the left heel. Okay, let's shift forwards again. Plant the hands either side of the right foot, step through plank, from plank, any way you wish, up into downward dog. And from there, we'll move through left side. So left leg lifts, draw the left knee to the chest, forwards, keep pushing the floor away. Set the left foot between the hands, bring the right knee down for that short lunge stance. Left hand to thigh, keep the heel grounded as we shift forwards and as we shift back. So as with the hips, you might find that there's naturally a little bit more or a little bit less movement one side to the other. Let's take the weight forwards again, hold there. Left hand can come down as well. So for now, we're creating that little bit of active pressure through the front part of the foot. And now feel as if you're trying to draw the top of that foot back towards the left shin. Keep that engagement, rock the weight back, pause here, really focusing on the ankle, or draw the weight back towards that right heel. Keep that ankle active again, so squeezing back. And then forwards we come from there. Plant the hands, move to your downward dog or into your child's pose. Stepping, vinyasa-ing, however which way you choose. We'll take a couple of extra breaths there this round. And then taking your step, your walk, your jump forwards, we'll return to standing fold. And from the fold up we come again, hands stretching to the sky. Palms join. Let's move those hands through center, release them alongside the body. Take one round of breath. And from there, we're going to move through a second round of the sun salutation. So arms can sweep up to the sky again. Take that active hinge from the hips, so putting back on your feet. You might feel a little engagement in the belly, the hip flexors. From there, we continue through the vinyasa journey to downward dog. Okay, again, pausing there, planting the hands. Let's begin right side again. So right leg lifts, right knee to chest, pause and hold. Push the floor. Set the right foot down. Keep the left knee away from the floor this time. And either we come up onto fingertips. If you have blocks, they can be helpful, give you more space to work with as we draw the right leg long. You might not need them. If so, keep the fingers down and then lengthen the leg, rebend the knee a couple more times. Okay, let's draw that right leg long again. Hold there. Squeeze the feet together, firm up the left thigh and the right thigh, and then pick the top of the foot back towards the shin. So the heels stay down, but again, we're drawing that ankle into an active position. We can either stay with the heel down or start to press the floor more strongly with the hands, work towards lifting the heel. As I always say, even if it doesn't actually lift, just that intention to get a little float, a little lift of the heel away from the mat. Okay, then we'll relax, bend the right knee over the right ankle, soften the left knee, roll your way up to high lunge position. So that ankle, the knee is going to stay more or less over the front ankle. Hands can be at the chest or reaching to the sky. Let's get a little pull, a little squeeze of the feet together again, and then we'll just start to lower the back knee. Maybe it's halfway, might be slightly lower, might even very lightly brush the floor, just a fraction of a touch, and then up we come. We'll do that again. Lower, slowly, control, and then lift. We'll take 3 more rounds. Keep the squeeze of the legs together. That's it, nice and softly. And then one last time. We'll lower the back knee, pause there, keep that squeeze of the legs. And then up we come again. Let's plant the hands, step or move back through to downward dog. And then we'll take second side. So lifting the left leg again, bringing the knee towards the body, the wrists underneath the shoulders as you press, and we can set that left foot down. Again, up onto fingertips or blocks, pull the feet together, draw the left leg long, a few rounds moving in and out of that position. Again, left leg lengthens, hold there. Keep the heel grounded as you draw the top of the foot back towards the shin, firm up both thighs. And again, the option here is to press down more strongly with the fingertips. See if you can work just a little lift of the heel or just feel the engagement of the muscles that cross the front of the hip. Okay. Let's start to bend the left knee again. Take the foot flat, find your way up, high lunge position. Knee over ankle. Then we start to squeeze the legs. Softly, softly take the back knee down. And up we come from there. So again, 5 rounds in total. Move at your own pace, but try not to rush the movements. One last time, we'll lower, we'll pause there. Keep that breath nice and soft, nice relaxed face as well. And then up we come. Plant the hands, again, move to down dog or kneeling pose or child's pose, whichever is your preference out of those 3. So we'll take another 4 or 5 breaths here. So we'll have a little break from the standing poses. We're going to transition through to our backs. So make that transition through the hands or forwards, or release the knees down. Roll down onto your back from there. You might want your belt to hand for one of these practices. So have that belt close. Once you come down, begin with both feet grounded. And then we'll bring the right knee in towards the chest. Now we want to keep that real spread of the back down into the floor. So you might keep the left knee bent, or you can slide it long and firm up the thigh. But if that causes the lower back to lift and arch, keep a little softness into the left leg. Once you've found your start position, let's draw the right knee towards the right armpit. And as you use the hand to squeeze the knee up to the shoulder there, a little pressure of the knee into the palm as if you're trying to release the pose. And now we'll shift the engagement to the front of the hip again. So feel as though you're trying to squeeze the knee away from the palm. You might visualize that there's a ball between your thigh and your torso, and you're squeezing that ball in. Release the right hand away. Take another few breaths here. Okay, let's draw the right knee back to center. Set the right foot down. Bring the left knee into the chest. And then optionally, we can take that right leg long as well. So feel the spread through the back. Draw the left knee wide towards the left armpit. And as the hand draws the knee in, the knee presses against the palm. And now feel that you're squeezing the knee in tighter. Hold the position as the left hand releases to the floor. And then back through center. Set the left foot down. Set the right foot to the floor as well. Let's lift into a low bridge position. So you can keep the backs of the ribs grounded. Just lift the pelvis so we get a little stretch across the fronts of the hips there. Okay. And then we'll bring the body back to the floor. We'll take a second round. This time we're going to bring some length through the right leg. So either catch the big toe, stretch the foot to the sky, or find your belt, loop around the toe knuckles there. Hold the belt with both ends of the belt, in the right hand, and just creep the hand up towards the foot. Again, left leg optionally can slide long, but really we're focusing on the right leg. So from this start position, press the foot to the sky, turn the heel in, turn the toes out, and keeping the left side of the body, the left side of the pelvis in contact with the floor, open the right leg out to the side. Keep that little rotation of the heel up towards the ceiling, into your midline. Gradually, we're going to start to release hold of the foot or the belt. So just letting go, bringing the right hand onto the right hip. See if we can hold this position. And then right leg travels into your center line. Pause there. We're going to bend the left knee again. If you're using a belt, just unloop that, take that down to one side. We press through the left foot, lift up into one leg bridge, and then draw the right leg in towards the body as close as it wants to travel. From there, we'll catch around the back of the leg, wherever that is, hamstring, knee, calf muscle, wherever. And keep the leg in the same position as we release the pelvis to the floor again. You might feel the stretch along the back of the leg slightly intensify. Now from here, we'll start to make the whole body strong. So hold the leg in position as you release the hands away. Fingers reach forwards. We'll lift the nose up towards the knee. Might not be anywhere near, that's fine. Optionally, again, lift the hips and see if that just gives you a little bit more range, bringing the leg in. You might even tap that nose towards the shin. Okay, let's release the pelvis down, release the head, release the right foot to the floor. Take a breath or two between sides as I switch around for the same series left side. So we begin with the feet grounded. We lengthen the left leg, either catching the toe or looping the belt. You might take the right leg long for now. Again, make the thigh really strong, press away with the heel, turn the left toes away from center. Let's open that left leg out to the side. Try not to rotate the heel away from your midline. So we really want to keep that rotation of the thigh bone down into that hip socket. And as we did first side, gradually we can let go of the belt or the foot. So we're just holding the position, using all the stabilizers and muscles around the left leg, around the left hip. Okay, back to center we come. Keep the left leg long. Again, you can lose the belt if you're working with the belt. Step the right foot flat to the floor. Press up into one leg bridge. And that will give us a little bit more range to draw the left leg in. We can catch the leg, hold position as we bring the back of the body down onto the mat again. And then we start to release the hands. See if we can keep the leg same position. Reach hands forwards, lift the head, curl the upper back away from the floor. Option, press down through the right foot. See if that again gives you a bit more range. Maybe just that tap of the head towards the shin. And then down we come again. Once we've set the head down, the left foot down, the hands down, we'll lift again into our low bridge position. So lift the hips, hold there. And then let's bring the body down again. Cross the shins, we'll rock our way up. And we're going to come back to downward dog from here. So either you can lift and step back or just roll over the shins, send the knees out to one side, take it back to downward dog, however you can, however you want. Okay, from downward dog, we're going to begin left side this time. So left leg lifts, left knee to the chest, pause, then set the left foot down onto the floor. Come directly up into your high lunge position from there. So up we come, just a bit short in my stance. So come up into your high lunge. We're going to bring this right knee up to the chest. So shift the weight forwards, bring the right knee up, take a moment just to steady the balance there. As we were doing on our backs, make the left leg really strong. So push the floor away as you draw that right knee high, and then right knee can roll away from your midline. Knee is lifting up towards the armpit. Gradually, we're going to release the hold of the hand. So as you keep the knee high, we'll bring the right hand to the right hip. And keep the knee at the same height if you can as we bring the right knee back to center. From there, we'll soften the left knee. We can take our step through lunge, hands to the floor, and back to dog pose from there. Okay. So we're going to take that pose around to the second side. This time, lifting the right leg, right knee forwards to chest, set the right foot down, and coming up into your high lunge position, second side. As we did first side, take a moment, steady the balance, then bring the left knee all the way up towards the body, up towards the chest, strong through the right leg, so press the foot to the floor, lift the chest to the sky, take the left knee away from your midline, hold there. And see if we can keep that lift of the knee as we gradually release the left hand to the left hip. Again, you might visualize that ball between thigh and body. Keep that squeeze as we draw the left knee into center. Right knee softens, we step back. Hands come down into dog pose or child's pose. 3-4 breaths there. So we'll take a full vinyasa before we move to the next series. Let's bring the feet forwards, all the way to the hands, down into the fold, and then up we come again. Sweep to the sky, down through your midline, release the arms, take a round of breath. When you're ready to begin, we'll move through one final round of sun salutation. So up come the arms again, down into the fold position, and through that journey. No rush, as always, take your time. We'll meet back in our downward dog. And again, we're going to begin this series left leg. So lift the left leg up, step that left foot forwards with control, come up into the high lunge from there. So very similar to the last sequence. From here, we'll begin by drawing the right knee up towards the body, up towards the chest. And you can either stay with the hand to knee, so take the same variation again, hand to knee pose, or we can bring length into the right leg. As we did from our backs, we can grip the toes, send the foot forwards, or keeping the right arm inside the knee, we can loop the belt, whoop, a little wobble, send the right foot forwards from there. We want the left leg to be long and fully strong, so try not to soften the left knee, even if that means some bend into the right knee. As you push away with the foot, draw back with the hand, turn the toes away from center, heel into center, open the right leg out to the side. So those of you who've taken this series a couple of times will be familiar with the next bit. We're going to gradually release with the right hand. Now that might be just a softening of the grip, or you can release the hand all together, hand onto hip. Let's see if we can keep that lift of the leg, sorry. And then from here, we'll bring the right leg back through center. Lift just a little higher, might be a little cramping here, that's fine, that's very normal. And then from here, we step the right foot back and we move to downward dog again. And then we move through that second side again. So right leg lifting, right foot taking that step all the way forwards and up into the high lunge position from there. Okay, spread the toes, big toe knuckle, little toe knuckle connected. We bring the left knee up towards the chest. Again, we can stay with the hand to knee variation, or we can loop the belt, use the grip of the big toes, whichever is your preference this side. Strong, strong through that standing leg, lifting through the chest. Left heel turns in, toes turn out. We move the left leg away from center. So please do feel free to stay with the support of the hand if that feels the right option. Otherwise, gradually we'll release go of the hand. Bring that hand onto the hip. See if we can keep the lift of the leg, the little rotation of the heel in. Leg stays lifted, we draw back to center, lift just a fraction higher, strong, strong legs. Okay, back we come from there. Hands come down. Take a little rest in your dog pose or your child's pose, or come into a kneeling pose instead. Again, we'll take another 3 or so breaths here. We'll meet in our standing fold position at the top of the mat. So when you feel ready to take the feet to the hands one more time. And from our fold position, we're going to move into our squat. So take the feet just a little wider, turn the toes out to 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Lift the heels initially. So as we come to the squat, this time the knees are outside the arms. Now, we've done lots of work with the ankles. So maybe the heels can release down. Maybe we feel that it's better to keep a lift at the heels, either balancing or placing a block underneath for support. Once we've set the feet, bring the hands together. My hip, my knee, tracking over the midline of my foot, rather than turning the toes out and bringing lots of pressure to the inner knee. Let's create a little pressure down through those feet, so a little push away from the floor with the feet. You might feel that the sit bones lift just a fraction away from the backs of the heels, from the legs. And now feel as though you're trying to lift the feet, squeezing the knees up towards the armpits. And now just relax into the pose for a few more breaths. Okay, let's place the hands down. Just take a fold for a few breaths. Bring a little bit of length through the backs of the knees. And we'll return to our squat from there. Finally got the words out. We'll return to our squat. We can stay with our regular squat. If you want to take a round of Bakasana, crow pose from here, that's an option too. It's like a squat, but up on our hands. So we reach forwards, we turn the thumb slightly up. We place the hands down, nice distance between feet and hands. Inner arms wrap forwards, grip the floor with the fingertips. And as we bend the elbows, we shift the weight, squeeze the knees to the upper arms. And as you lift front body to back body, either pause here or shift a little further forwards. See if one set of toes lifts or the second set of toes come up. Otherwise, keep the feet grounded. Just bring more weight into the hands. That's it. Okay, from here, let's start to lean the weight back into the feet again. We'll walk the hands back behind us. Let's take the legs long. We find ourselves in an upright seat, and we might want to use a block underneath the sit bones just to help keep that lift up through the chest. Okay, so once you feel you're sitting tall, place the right foot flat to the floor. About a hand span between my right foot and my left thigh. My left arm reaches back, so just behind the line of the body. My right arm reaches up, chest lifted, and I fold forwards from there. Hand can come to foot, floor, shin, wherever you want. Either keep that pressure through the left fingertips, so helping us to draw the weight forwards, or take the left hand forwards as well. Try not to collapse the chest, so keep a lift of the chest towards that front foot. Right knee squeezing in, just a little press through the foot, quite subtle. Okay. And then from here, we'll keep the legs in the same position. Draw your weight up, lean back into the hands. From there, we'll bring the knee towards the chest. So lift the foot, stretch the leg long, and then just start to bring the chest towards an upright position again. See if you can keep that lift of the foot. Shoulder squeeze back, last breath, and then softly set the right foot down, bend the left knee. So right hand is back behind, left arm is reaching up, chest lifts. Lead with the chest as we reach forwards. Again, option to stay with the hand back or to bring that hand forwards. Gently pull back on the hands to get that gentle lift of the chest, quite subtle. So rather than looking at the knee or at the floor, we're lifting our gaze slightly forwards of that right foot. Notice if the left knee is dropping away. So squeeze it in, press down through the sole of the foot. Okay, then release the hands. Walk those hands back behind you. Lean back for a moment. Bring the knee in tight. Stretch the leg long. And then bring the chest to an upright position again. Toes are lifting. And then left foot sets down onto the floor. Let's place the feet flat for a moment. Place the hands flat as well. Fingers pointing out. Lift up into reverse table. So again, just a little counter stretch for a moment. And as we bring the sit bones down, we'll take the legs long again. One final pose from here. So same setup. Right foot flat to the floor. This time the left hand is going to be forwards of the line of the hips, so just about in line with my left knee or my left thigh. I'll lean forwards and just lift the hips away from the sit bones. Now, again, depends on the ankle. If that feels too much for the ankle, you can bring the heel with you. You might stay here with the hand onto the foot. You might lift the foot. If the heel is grounded, you can shift the weight all the way over. Same options. You might bring the left hand onto the foot as well. Or you might even reach the hands forwards, keeping the lift of the toes or the left leg up towards the palms. Keep pressure down through the standing leg. From here, we'll reverse, so bring the hips back onto the block. You can use the hands for support if that's helpful. Left foot down, right leg lengthens. We switch over to second side. Get a good spread of the toes down. Right hand outside the leg. Shift the weight forwards, so we can stay here or with the heel lifted. Maybe if the heel's down, we can lean all the way over. Take any of the variations that we talked about first side. Toes lifting to foot or holding the leg. Maybe we're still using the hands for some support. Okay, start to reverse again. So hips down, right leg down, left leg down. From here, reverse table again, bend the knees, press up just for a moment. And then as we bring the sit bones down onto the block, let's take a cross-legged position. Any cross-legged seat, doesn't matter which. And then from here, we'll just lead with the chest as we draw forward. So all the hard work is done. Let's take a soft, relaxing forward fold. Just beginning to invite all the energy to draw down again. We'll draw our way up, switch up the cross of the legs, and down into the fold again. Okay, let's find our way up again. Uncross the legs off of the blocks if you're still using that block. And from there, we'll release onto our backs. So take that steady transition down. Once we're there, head releases, arms and legs into a position that feels comfortable. And as we take this final resting pose, let's maintain that curiosity. Sometimes the mind will start to drift off. As best we can, we'll keep our attention centered here right now.